And these dreams are not nice. These dreams are not nice. You're not even on Earth at that point. The pendulum has to swing the other way, guys. This is something that not everybody talks about, or they don't even understand. This is where people start spiraling out of control. This is probably the most dangerous part of it. You literally think you're losing your mind. The number one thing that people talked about that they wish they would have known. All right, guys, I'm gonna be spilling the tea on a private Facebook group that I am in for Kundalini Awakenings. Basically, I went in and asked people on their experiences what they wish they would have known before awakening. And let me tell you, these are things that the internet is not talking about because they feel crazy. In this video, I want to share with you guys some of the top trends that I found across, I want to say there was at least 50 people who responded and shared what they wish they would have known before awakening. I'm just going to forewarn you guys that I myself have had 3 Kundalini awakenings, and this is very true. These things are true. These things are not talked about. These things are more the mysticism, esoteric side that is unexplainable. My goal with this video is to help educate people on what a Kundalini awakening actually is, to help people who are going through it and not saying anything, or have went through it and don't understand what exactly happened to them. Because what I saw from that group was fear, confusion, questioning their sanity, and physical symptoms and sensations that they could not explain. If you don't know what a Kundalini awakening is, I'll link the videos I've made down below. But essentially, when people talk about a Kundalini awakening, they usually think of the prana, or the energy or the life force that is running through your body. It's the thing that's powering this body, essentially. That's what a lot of people call Kundalini. And yes, it is the creative life force that is powering everything. But when we talk about a Kundalini awakening, this is a specific event. This is something that physically happens to your body. It's the energy that is coiled up in the root chakra, or by the root chakra. Now, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people because you won't see it on an x-ray. There's no way to prove it other than you feel it whenever it releases. There's no mistaking it when it happens. This event called the Kundalini Awakening is when that energy that is dormant in every single human being wakes up from, who knows how it's triggered. I know how mine was triggered, and I have my own theory on how it happens. But essentially, when your soul decides to awaken this energy and let you have a Kundalini awakening, it basically comes in, gets you into union with God. And when I talk about awakening fully, it means that you 120 bazillion% know you are God consciousness. You are literally God having a human experience. You're not in this body. You're being hologrammed, projected, whatever, I don't even know how to explain it, into this body. And you 100% know it, no questions. It's because you feel it in the body. You have a experience. The body then remembers this experience. It almost like remembers your truth, or you're aware of it. And that awareness never leaves you. When you are awake, you can never go back to sleep. You can forget sometimes, but you will never not forget the experience because it is ingrained in your cellular memory. You can tap back into that experience and relive it just like you can with trauma. It's the same thing, but just different energies, you know. Anyway, that is what a Kundalini awakening is. The number one thing that people talked about that they wish they would have known was how physical a Kundalini awakening is. And this is very true. This is the thing that actually scared me the most when I had my Kundalini awakening, is because you feel it in the body. You don't, and it's foreign. It feels like your body honestly takes over and you're not in control. And part of this is what I've learned in Kundalini yoga. They're called kriyas, and kriyas are basically the energy in the body, what most people would call an exorcism, but it's uncontrollable movements of the energy moving inside the body. Basically what I think is happening is either there's an influx of energy releasing, of like blocked, pent up energy now releasing in the body, letting it go. and it has to go somewhere. And to release energy, we have to move it, right? So when you're moving, you're getting rid of that energy. It's got to go somewhere. So this is where I think a lot of people wish they would have known these things happen to the body, or that this is just part of like a human experience, or that this is even possible, because we don't talk about it enough, guys. We like to think that this is something foreign, that this is like an exorcism, something is like possessing us, when really it's just our energy. People also talked about like lightning. It felt like shooting up their spine. People talked about like tingling sensations, electric shocks in the body. Whenever the energy shoots up your spine, it's unblocking chakras. And I felt this as well too. When the energy shoots up your spine, because this is how the awakening happens, when your body feels safe enough to let it go, essentially, because that's the only way that this can happen, is when your root chakra becomes unblocked. Your body is then fully feeling safe enough to let Kundalini release and shoot up the spine. So when this happens, when it goes up each chakra, it literally has to clear it out, to clear the channel, to be able to come out the top of the crown to connect with source. So when your chakras are clear, you're basically God, essentially. Your ego is no longer there. When it shoots up and it clears out the chakras, a lot of people talked about how it made them shake, how it like they felt it get stuck and then pop up. For myself, it felt like, honestly, like if I had a baby in my stomach, it felt like things were kicking. Like you could feel like energy trying to pop out. It felt like little pop rocks in certain points in your body. So where they're sitting along the spine, it literally felt like static electricity just going off. And that is essentially what really grabbed my attention to begin with. Was it felt like an intense amount of vibration and static electricity in my hips and my root chakra area. And it grabbed my attention to make me pay attention to figure out what was going on with me. Because it literally, I thought I was about to die. That's how scary it is. I didn't have what other people were talking about, which is feeling like a snake moving up the spine. I didn't have that in that awakening, but I have felt it in meditation before, because once it's released, like it always just moves up and down, clearing out chakras. Some people reported on pain. I can see where it could be painful with the intense amount of vibration and electricity. It's not joyful, I'll say that. It is uncomfortable, but I think the most uncomfortable thing about it was the fear around it happening, was because you don't know what is happening, at least for me. Physically, yes, it was a little uncomfortable. Some other people do report physical sensations or just the physicality of it making them sick. I personally know somebody who, they were basically bedridden for, I don't even know how long she said it was for, maybe 2 weeks. She couldn't do much because of how sick she was. And that is something that a lot of people experience with energy work. And I noticed that just with clients in general when I worked with them with Reiki. If you're very low in vibration and we pump your body full of energy, which is essentially what happens with the Kundalini Awakening, if you have a lot of detoxing that the physical body needs to go through, you're gonna feel sick. You're gonna get detoxing symptoms, because everything that was causing those symptoms, the energy that was stuck in your body, it's released. So your body basically dumped a whole bunch of toxins and it's trying to clear them out. So you do get a detoxing but effect from it if your physical body needs that. What I've found is, if your physical body needs to detox, that is going to limit you spiritually. So the physical body has to detox itself for you to elevate higher, to connect to source. Okay? So when that kind of surpasses itself, I say itself, because the Kundalini Awakening is going to get you to source. It's going to get you to source. It's going to surpass the physical stuff that needs to happen. And it's all just going to happen at once. What I mean by that is, you don't have time for your body to detox. That's the after effect. So the intense amount of energy that's surging through your body when you meet Source, when you meet God, when you come into that union, it's a lot. You're basically not even a human at that point. There's too much love that is not of this planet, or I don't even know how to describe it. The frequency that came through the body, whatever, through the heart chakra portal, that does not exist here. It has to be channeled here, is what I'm trying to say. And basically, you have to be God in a body to channel it here. I know that kind of didn't make a lot of sense, because any kind of energy made here on Earth is channeled here, but I have not found that, what I experienced, the frequency here anywhere. And from what I had gathered from all the comments, is this is why most people think that they're going crazy, is the physicality of it. Because when something happens to your body and you're not in control of it, and it's something physical, you can see it, you're experiencing it, it then becomes your truth. And it's so far off from what we were taught, you know, in society, on what is normal, what is not normal, you know, then we think we're going crazy because what we're experiencing is mainly considered demonic or witchcraft or something of that nature. The next thing that I noticed, you literally think you're losing your mind. And I thought the same thing as well too. So I can relate on this and speak to it. You have so many psychic experiences, crazy experiences. You literally think you're going insane. People feel like they have psychotic episodes. They feel like they start questioning reality, if it's even real. A lot of people reported on they had a feeling that somebody was watching them, like their life was a movie and somebody from the outside was watching them, or they were being observed constantly. This is probably the most dangerous part of it. And I would even want to say it's more dangerous than the physical side of it, because this is where people start spiraling out of control. If you don't integrate this energy correctly, or if you don't have a mentor helping you, or if you don't have proper education or knowledge on what these things are, it can take you down dark rabbit holes. Because what Kundalini does, it clears out your chakras. This is where, if you do any kind of psychedelics or any kind of like energy work, things to clear out chakras, it's going to elevate you, yes. You're going to have epic spiritual experiences. That is light and love as well too. But with light and love and coming into union in God, like, it was beautiful with this whole thing, don't get me wrong. But you have the shadow side that comes with it. Whatever intensity of love that you felt, the light, the pendulum has to swing the other way, guys. This is something that not everybody talks about, or they don't even understand. When you go that high, you're gonna fall probably farther down. And it freaks a lot of people out, especially when they and I've noticed this with the responses too. And even to myself, when you come off of that high, that energetic high, and you start coming back down, because we are in the physical, you cannot stay up there, because that's not a human experience. You're not even on Earth at that point. When you start coming down, that decline sucks ass. You are going to be exposing all of basically your ego's bullshit. You're gonna not understand, or a lot of people don't understand, all the stuff that's happening to them and in their mind, especially when they're coming down from such a high energy, because your crown chakra is open and your third eye is open. And when those things are not controlled and you're working through your ego, your dark side, it's a shit show, guys. It's a shit show. You have communication with beings and other dimensions. Nobody talks about that, but it's real. You see shit. You have dreams, and these dreams are not nice. These dreams are not nice. You have visions. It's basically sitting with your dark side is what's happening. All these things coming up, they're not separate from you. They are you, but it's the subconscious mind communicating with you through these experiences, through these dark experiences, trying to bring to light or to your awareness the things that you need to work through. And a lot of people feel like things are happening to them rather than seeing it as signs and symbols, or that it's them basically communicating with themselves. And so they think it's demons. They think it's like they're going crazy, but it's just your shadow side coming to surface because you've exposed it. You've basically became light, all light at one point. You were God at one point. This is how psychedelics, this is how energy work, all that is tools because it's raising you in vibration. It's going to be showing you a level of love because you're raising a vibration. It's a tool to help you raise so you experience a level of love, so your nervous system experiences a level of love that it could not previously experience before. You're wiring new neuroplasticity pathways around this experience of love, okay? Because the body now knows a higher frequency. It's going to now show you in your life what is not of that frequency. Where you thought might have been love before or okay with in your life, you now understand that that's a lower level frequency compared to what you could experience with these other higher forms of frequency, these tools, right? You now see the shift in energy. You're aware of it, and it don't feel good. And when you have neuroplasticity pathways around lower level habits, ways of thinking, emotions, you have to work with your mind and your body to break those habits, to create better ones that are more in alignment with now your new energy, now what you know is a higher energy of love that you've been introduced to. That's how Kundalini and all energy work, frequencies, sound healing, that's how it helps you. But you have to do the work to keep it there. Are we thinking of this correctly now? This is why energy work and all that stuff, it can't do it for you. It can help you, but it's up to you ultimately to take responsibility of your life and make the changes necessary now that you are aware. And knowing is half the battle. Part of this too, and something that I've experienced, you see through reality. And this can be very dangerous as well too, of thinking that you're going crazy. You start to see how everything is just vibration. I literally, guys, I could look at something like this and see it fall away in vibration. That's how high up I was. I was not here. After my Kundalini Awakening, I was not right for about a month straight. That stuff would happen. Everything looked so fake that it looked like Play-Doh almost. Everything looked very dense. So the best way that I could describe it is, if you guys have seen like the movies, like the cartoons, where it literally, they look like, like Gumby, that's what reality was looking like for me. People were looking like freaking Gumby. Okay. That was not cool. That was not cool. A lot of people would probably call that hallucinating or a psychotic episode, but I wasn't on anything. I wasn't on anything. And I can still get to that point, guys, if I meditate and do breath work. I can then see through reality like that again. But I don't want to do that. That shit was scary. And the whole thing with people watching, like people feeling like people watching you, yes. It feels like you yourself are watching you outside of your body, but you're still in your body, or like your life is a movie. It literally feels like a movie. And that was a hard one to, I want to say, kick out of my mind, to not think about, because I don't like to think about these things. Because whenever I do, I'm like, oh wow, this really sucks. I can't really have a human experience. But one of the things I do remember, and not a lot of people really talked about it, I've seen it come up once or twice in the group. You come into the full knowing of God. Yes. You know as well too, from that experience, or it's just like an inner knowing that you can literally will anything into existence. If you believe it enough, you can literally have anything you want. That's how powerful you are. It is the re-remembering of you are the creator of reality. Literally. It's not just guys, your thoughts create your habits and stuff like that. Like that's part of it. But literally, like I'm trying to get this across, that if you think something, your physical reality has to adapt to that thought. It creates it. It creates it. Your consciousness combined with atoms and electrons are basically crystallizing energy into matter, okay? And everybody else is you projected outward. and everybody's the same God consciousness. Okay? Meaning, if you want to experience a timeline, you are the star of the show. Remember, even though we are co-creating, but you're choosing to co-create with others, and you can either believe them or not believe them, whatever. That's how we co-create. But if you believe something enough and it 100% in your heart, you literally can have anything. You literally can have anything. You just have to ignore what the physical reality looks like at the time. This is why faith plays into the human experience, and why like we're here. Part of it is to have faith in ourselves or into God again, or to return to God. But if you have faith in it, anything can happen that you want. You can win the lottery is what I'm saying. If you truly believe that you can win the lottery, you can. We are just so programmed with doubt that it takes our power away from us. If everybody had this same knowing that you can will anything into existence, holy hell, the world. I say that, but it's only your world. If I can explain this of what I've been shown, it's a timeline. Everybody else can experience a different timeline, but you are on your own timeline. Okay? There could be another timeline of like where, I mean, like you could have died, but you're still alive in this timeline that you're experiencing. It's hard for me to explain this, but everybody's in their own little video game, and just picture it as in you're sitting in a room and virtually like anything's moving around you just with the thought process in your mind, and it's piecing together reality as you're thinking yourself. You're not moving around, you're thinking yourself through reality, and the world is designing itself around you. So that's where you're creating your own timeline, you're having your own experience. Joe Schmo over there is doing the same thing in the room or the temple of energy across the hall, and he's thinking his own timeline into existence. And even though like he could have a timeline with me, let's say, if he wanted to then manifest me, let's say, in a relationship, but I, in my timeline, don't want a relationship with Joe Schmo. But him in his reality, he could manifest that if he believed it enough and have that experience. I myself don't want that experience, so I'm gonna manifest my own relationship with Fred over here. You know, I don't know how else to explain this. Hopefully I'm making sense. I'm probably sounding crazy to some people, like holy hell, but that's how it works. You're on your own timeline, and everybody else is you projected out, and you feel it when you come into the full-on knowing. And that's the feeling that I got, the download that I got when I was awakened. And I can still get to that point. It just takes some breath work and some movement of energy in the body. Like, that is the best way, guys. If you want to wake up and experience these things, go through the body. Don't go through the mind. The mind is going to play tricks on you. Go through the body and then have experiences with the body, through breath work, through meditation, sound healing, acupuncture. Have experiences with the physical body, and the mind rewires itself around those experiences in that new frequency, because you believe it more when something physical happens to you. That's the way you need to go. Somatic movement. Stop going through the mind and trying to battle the brain or the mind, because you will lose every freaking time. Basically have to surrender to the mind and watch it just monkey show it out until it runs itself out. It's like a child that needs to run around and cause a bunch of ruckus, and if you let it go and let it run, it will then shut up. So the next one that a lot of people experienced was I want to call it the ego trap, the spiritual ego trap. And if you're familiar with the spiritual community, you've heard of this before. It's where people kind of establish themselves as like this spiritual know-it-all, this spiritual teacher. Like it's like they think they're above everybody. And it's very easy to do, guys, when you are of that high frequency. A lot of people talked about how they felt like they were awake and everybody else was asleep. Nobody could understand them. They felt superior to others in consciousness, stuff like that. They felt like their way was the only way. They knew the secrets of the universe. If it's true to them, then it's true for their universe, right? But it might not be true for your timeline, what I just talked about, right? Ultimately, it's a trap, and it's something you have to be aware of, be careful of, because when you think you know it all, guys, You truly don't. Your consciousness, God is gonna always one-up you, because guess what? You have a body. You're lower in some form of frequency because you're stuck here. Okay? God is not. Okay? God is everything, but the highest form of frequency is in another portal dimension elsewhere. You only channel some of it here some of the time. Okay? Even though we're all it, and there's one source of truth, we all have an array of frequencies. But when I think of source or God, it's like this ball of white, pure light, basically. Like that's the best way, like a white that I can't even describe, and that's it. If we were that, we would not be here. We would just be light. So because you are human, you have flaws, or you're perfect in your own unique way. We'll say that. And this truly takes your power from you, because you're separating yourself out from people, and we are all one, right? You're separating yourself out from love, trying to be superior or thinking that you're superior. You're missing the whole point of what spirituality actually is. It's not trying to teach people or change people or anything like that. It's a self-acceptance. It's an accepting of other people, but you're not here to try and save the world. You're not here to try to change people. You're not here to try and teach or belittle or whatever like that, or say your way is the correct way. You are here to integrate your truth. You're here to integrate whatever it is that you learned with yourself. You healing you with this energy or whatever experience that you have is going to heal other people automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to teach anybody. All you gotta do is live your life. You have to just make the changes, because other people, we are energetic beings, guys. Other people are going to sense it. They're going to sense it. They're not going to understand it, but your presence alone and just doing the integration work, grounding yourself down into this new energy, this healing energy that is now you, whatever kind of new frequency you're embodying from your spiritual experience, from your Kundalini Awakening, from doing the shadow work, whatever, your presence is just gonna heal people. It really will. It's called resonance. It's how it works in Reiki. It's physics, okay? Your energy is gonna bring their energy up, and they're gonna feel good around you. They're going to want to basically learn from you. They're going to have, let's say, spiritual experiences around you, but because you elevate them in energy, they're going to then start thinking differently. They're going to have different physical experiences. You know, the body's going to react differently around you. So that's why you really don't have to do anything. Like, your purpose is to just exist and be love. We just like to do physical things here in the world to help us experience that love. But essentially, if you can just allow your authentic self to come through, like stop the freaking criticism, the voice in the mind, if you can control that and just allow your truth to come out, you literally don't have to do anything. You can just be. That's your purpose. Us humans like to experience, which is part of the 3D, but we like to experience high forms of frequency and say we have a purpose because we like to feel important, right? So we like to think that there is some form of like an activity we need to be doing here that is our purpose, which will always be ever evolving to higher states of love the more that we learn. And that's part of why our purpose is challenging in a sense in itself, is it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to evolve you into higher forms of love. Anyway, side note there. Another thing that people talked about was misinterpreting, how do I want to say this? Because I didn't experience this. Formed attachments around what had happened to them and kind of misinterpreted where their power came from. So what I mean by this is the best example that I could give, what was given in the group. A woman went to a guru and basically had a Kundalini Awakening from the guru, which you can do. You can pay somebody to do this if they know how. All they're doing is like taking your belief in them and working with the body to then shoot off Kundalini. It still requires your belief in the person to be able to do it. You know, that's basically you giving them your power to do that. Okay, side note. However, the dark side of this is People associate their awakening, or the only reason that they were able to awaken was because of that person. Now, and this is where psychedelics come in too, it could be a dark side to it, because you think it's the only way that you can experience these things, and it's not. You are the one truly doing it. These are tools to help you. So what had ended up happening to this woman, she then formed an attachment to her guru, thinking that the guru healed her, when it was truly her that healed her. And I don't know if the guru didn't help integrate or explain this or what, but she formed such an attachment that it became an obsession. I don't want to assume, but it sounded like I don't want to say a sexual obsession, but she wanted a relationship with this person. Like, she fell in love with them pretty much, but it wasn't actual love. It was like that passion, the desire, because her body was associating, or she was associating the energy that Kundalini gave her from this person. She identified this energy in him. I don't know how else to explain it. But you get the idea. She formed an attachment of love to this person and giving her power away, thinking that he was the one who did it when it was her. It's not true. So just remember, if you do anything of like spiritual tools, even with Reiki and stuff, that is just you allowing this situation. It's you allowing it to happen. No matter what, guys, your level of belief has to be there for something to happen. Even in a Reiki session, whatever like that, your belief in the session, your belief in your healer, the practitioner, the guru, whatever, the amount of belief that you have in them is going to be however much you experience. Okay, so apparently she had a lot of belief in her guru. Yes, resonance does help with this, because you feel that elevation in energy, and the higher that you feel that elevation in energy, and the separate, like, it depends on where you're at, where they're at, it's just going to build your belief, because you're going to feel it. It's like an energetic pull. It's the soul naturally going to a higher form of vibration, because life wants life, right? Life is going to go where it feels life. That's why everybody follows love subconsciously. And the last one that I'm going to talk about with the big trend was basically becoming obsessed with mysticism, basically chasing every rabbit hole with spirituality, every rabbit hole with like different modalities, energy work, stuff like that. And I think this is very natural. I found myself doing this too. I think it's because you're trying to piece together what happened to you. You're now very curious about, energy work and all these things you want to learn. And that's a good thing, guys. But when you're going down all these rabbit holes and you're doing like tarot, Reiki, oracle, sound healing, you're searching for truth in like all these different books or, things like that. It can get confusing. You can lose yourself in it. You're constantly looking for the next spiritual high or the next best thing. You're never really fully taking in what you learn and integrating it. You're just kind of like on this spiritual shenanigan or side quest or something, just trying to experience cool shit. Trying to have psychic experiences, trying to contact other beings, trying to, you get the idea, trying to basically just get energy highs. It's like a drug almost. But it's not to say that's a bad thing, but you also have to integrate the wisdom. You also have to integrate the experiences. Otherwise, you're just spiritual bypassing and you're not really doing the work. Nothing's going to stick with you. So that's why you just keep looking for the next energetic high like a drug. When you actually integrate and do the work, you don't really seek new energy highs. You just don't. I don't know how else to explain it, but you start to honestly seek peace. Your nervous system starts to wire itself around calm, peace, just like things don't bother you. That's all you're truly really after at one point. Now you can still read and want spiritual experiences and stuff like that, but the high energy excitement, I don't want to call it anxiety, but it's just a lot of energy around those things of like pushing and pushing and pushing for more truth, more knowledge, more experiences and stuff. I almost want to say that's like your nervous system trying to like look for something to either bring it up, or like, you know, it's almost like you're still wired around intensity, and instead of like now getting your fix or your intensity from, you know, let's say drugs in the world, you're going after spiritual drugs. That's the best way I can put it. So if you want to call it the devil's deceiving you or something like that. Anyway, but I hope this helped you guys out. I 100% like am giving you the honest feedback of these people that I basically had conversations with for weeks on this topic, or my own experience that I've had 3 awakenings before. It's very true. It's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something to try and do yourself. So please do not try. Honestly, you'll probably end up blocking yourself and not ever being able to achieve it. It's an energy you have to surrender to. And if it's meant to happen for you, it will happen for you. Your soul will make sure that it happens. And like I said before, you can literally will it into existence if you just put the intention out there and just surrender to it, however which way it needs to guide you through your journey of consciousness or life to get to that point of frequency of where it will release. So I hope this video helped you. If you guys like want to share your experiences or want me to make another video talking about this, on if you want clarity on something, if you're having some form of an experience, please let me know. I do have resources of spiritual people I know in the community here, spiritual people online, and people that have had Kundalini awakenings. So it's something that the world honestly needs to be educated on. It truly does. I think with where we are going and the consciousness shifting of the earth, more and more people are awakening, more and more people are having these experiences, but they're not publicly coming forward with it because it's scary. If you don't know about it, it is intimidating as hell. But I do believe that Source puts certain tools and people in our lives to help bring us to the awareness of what is going on, right? I know that's how it happened for me. So anyway, sending you guys all my light and all my love. Sat Nam.